you hear all of the action via your earphones. So if you have a portable radio or Walkman, and you can tune that to FM 87.7. That's Eastern Creek FM, as we heard it for JMP Auto and Eastern Creek Performance.
Eastern Creek Performance Centre, well worthy of a particularly good plug from us, Richard, and we've been asked specifically by Andrew the Butcher and by Jeff Penton to give Brian a real good thrash. Without his help, neither of those cars would be out here this weekend, and they just cannot say enough of too high praise of Brian Edwards' efforts over the last week. That motor and Jeff Penton's dragster there now running a bow tie block, which he did have earmarked for his funny car, but it's now been pressed into service in the dragster. And as late as Tuesday, they were still machining the main bearing caps for that motor. So there's been a tremendous thrash going on there at Eastern Creek, as I say, not only with Jeff's motor, but also with Andrew the Butcher's Wild Bunch car. Alrighty, Penton out of there with a .438, a 1.127 reaction time, second 60-foot time. He clocks 7.612 and 179.50 for the quarter mile.
5 for Denton.
Alrighty, another one of the Wild Bunch cars coming up there. Andrew Constantinou, Andrew the Butcher, in the 353 cubic inch supercharged small block Chevy. Yeah, you listen to this thing rev. When he hits it in the burnout pad there, on the water burnout, that's where it goes. Hey, there's that for some RPMs.
Okay, the Butcher's not hanging around, and the New South Wales boys out to show that they're going to be there when the whips are cracking for State of Origin Wild Bunch Andrew Constantinou.
That's the smallest engine in the whole of the Wild Bunch competition today, ladies and gentlemen. Out of the 10 cars, that's the littlest one. That's a 353-inch Chevy out of Brian Edwards' Eastern Creek Performance Centre workshop, and you can hear just what a fierce little engine that is. What a river, what a runner. We're going to see some real action here today. Okay, lined up in Snap-on Tools Lane 2, Bill Pedicardis with the Ford Muscle Parts Super Stock A-Class Falcon, ready to rock and roll.
So imagine what's happening inside those engines, those revs for those Wild Bunch cars. As one of the Andrew stewards loses his hats there. The power of the Constantinou car showing up there, the blown small block Chevy. Andrew the Butcher, running for the New South Wales team in State of Origin Wild Bunch, Eastern Creek Performance Centre and Master Cup Gourmet Meats. Major sponsors also Prospect Hotel, Ripco, Johnson Performance Cams, Lynx, all helping out there with the Constantinou car.
This is just amazing, Richard, the amount of traction out on that burnout pad. One of the guys just stood still for too long. When he moved off again, he left his shoes behind. Okay, a big red light there for Bill Pedicardis in the Snap-on Tools Lane 2. Andrew the Butcher, .574 was the reaction time. 1.254 reaction time, and knocks off at 8.160. He'll be happy with that. His speed, about 1 mile an hour down from the best one he ever posted yesterday. 167.29 he ran. Bill Pedicardis right on it there at 10.224 for his practice run.
With Andrew Constantinou, keep an eye on this, away they go, and Constantinou, red lights, oh the Blues are under pressure right now, look at that. Constantinou runs a good number, 8.16, only 600ths of a second over his dial in, but David Baxter had time to see the red lights and just, would you believe, kind of cruised it to an 8.39 at 169 mile an hour. New South Wales can only win a further 10 points if they win every pass. So every one of these ones vital to the Blues. The burnouts from both small block powered cars.
Both of them supercharged 352-inch Chevy
And down here at Eastern Creek Raceway, State of Origin time. Cheer on your heroes in the Blues. All the New South Wales team cars will run in the crowd side lane for this round. Look at that from Constantino.
And how's that for traction? If anyone had any doubts about the traction qualities here at Eastern Creek, there's Constantino waving the wheels at the crowd. The front wheels right up in the air at that supercharged 352-inch small block Chevy.
The Butcher in action for the New South Wales Cockroaches. I can tell you, he did that just for Steve Jack. He said, your car can leave hard with this low first gear.
Well,
have a look at this.
Have a look at this.
This is Wild Bunch State of Origin at its best. Andrew Constantino in the left-hand crowd side lane. Running in the snap-on side of things, Stephen Jack for the Queenslanders. The Cane Toad looking on anxiously. He needs one more win to wrap up the series, does the Cane Toad. He hopes that Steve Jack can do it. And look at this, 5-5 versus a 5-4. There is nothing in the reaction times, dead level. Jack in trouble in the deep end, starts to wander but gets there first. Steve Jack gets the win because Constantino went too fast. Great performances. And what a run from Brady trying to chase him down, but he just wasn't in the hunt. A great 4:11 lap from Devlin. A 5:48 reaction time to Blaze will see the Butcher. And the Cockroach and the Cane Toad are still into it. The Butcher, Andrew Constantino with the 350 Chevy powered HJ Holden in the blue colours for New South Wales. The New South Wales boys aren't done yet. The Jack's having some problems starting the dedicated Chevy. Comes into life now, full Jack. Andrew Constantino knows how to do a burner. Put your hands together for the Butcher. I told you they weren't done. The boys are back and firing. They're saying that we're going to be there for the next State of Origin contest next year. And the Maroons will better be wary of what's happening. Okay, Jack coming into the water ground area. The poor Cane Toad's in trouble again. The Cocky's got him. Constantino being guarded back. The Jacks with some problems getting the car fired, but they're into life now. Now with a new 4-speed Lenko transmission in that car, and boy, it's come to life. Strong burnout from the Blown Limousine. Australia's only supercharged limousine service, courtesy of the Jack Brothers. Supercharged Buick-headed Chevrolet in the Holden Statesman. Andrew Constantino. And that car's worth for the Jacks. 0.25 of a second handicap difference in this one. To the Brian Edwards, I really don't think they'd be disappointed if they broke out in this run. They've had an 8-1, an 8-1, an 8-1. That's all they could do this weekend. There was so much hope that the car would run in the sevens. They've been held up with parts getting here and not running the engine to its fullest potential. They got new tyres on the back, but they needed some more engine parts, and they didn't arrive, so they're looking with a bit of engine chin-up work to try and run into the sevens on this last run against Steve Jack. And as you said, Rob, the State of Origin Wild Bunch brings out the best. Keep an eye on them, quarter of a second handicap start through the Blues. Randy Constantino. Max Wilmstone came out on the big hole shot, and I'd say it's a Jacks for Queensland. Look at the car walking in the deep end, but a 784 at 163 mile an hour, and the Cane Toad cops another flogging from the Cocky. Great one, Constantino, an 824 at 166 mile an hour. The action absolutely fantastic. The Jacks put one